Winston Churchill once said, "Democracy is the worst form of government, except all those other forms that have been tried from time to time." God damn it, America. How do you go from one of the most likable and intelligent and well-spoken presidents of all time to an angry, spiteful used car salesman who barely speaks at a fourth grade level? Are you really going to make us sit through for the next 4 years his easily refutable lies, the pointless hyperbole, the 4 AM tweets from this man-child? God. It'd be funny if it didn't feel like such an actual threat to democracy and civil liberties and all the progress made on important issues like climate change. So good luck, world. Let's just try and make it through the next 4 years without breaking anything too badly. And that's it. I promise I won't talk about him anymore. Not unless he does something truly disastrous in the future. Maybe invade Canada or something like that. I only bring it up again because I know it pisses off a few people out there who can't handle differing opinions to their own. So what are we going to talk about in today's episode? Well, there's a lot of stuff going on in Blitz at the moment. Heaps of new content. You know, Blitz, that game that I said I was done with, but am totally not really done with it all. Yeah, lots of stuff going on there. But first, a rundown of my trip to PAX Melbourne. About a month ago, my brother and I flew over to Melbourne for the weekend to check out PAX, the big gaming convention. It was a lot of fun. We left on... When did we leave? The Thursday night. We had tickets to Friday and Saturday, and we left on Thursday night. Caught the red-eye flight over. The red-eye flight being the overnight flight. It takes about 4 hours to get from Perth to the east coast if you fly east-west. No, west-east. Yeah, it's faster on the way over than it is coming back. But anyway, of course, no sleep on the flight over. Got about an hour. So arrived wrecked at about 6 in the morning. Had to go drop our stuff off at my brother's friend's place, whose address he'd forgotten. So there was an hour walking around Melbourne trying to find this place. We had to meet someone else for breakfast. We couldn't find them either. So there was another hour walking around. So we probably clocked about 5Ks before it even made it to PAX. And then, of course, the convention is just one big walk around an exhibition hall. So it was an exhausting day. God, I was wrecked by the end of it. We went out for drinks and dinner that night, and I was falling asleep in my own hands. It was really embarrassing. We probably could have packed all the weekend into just the Friday. It was nice and quiet, or quieter on the Friday than it was the Saturday, and we just about covered everything there was to see. On the very first morning, the Friday morning, we watched an overclocking exhibition by the guys who run Overclockers Australia, and they did a bit of a talking panel on what they're about and the competitions they go to. They did a demonstration live on stage where they were pouring liquid nitrogen over some kind of CPU. Managed to get it up to, I think it was about 8.1 off memory, 8.1 gigahertz live there on stage. So that was pretty exciting stuff. Well, not really exciting, but it was interesting. Certainly gave me some more enthusiasm to try it with my new computer. I won't be pouring any liquid nitrogen over it, but I will be trying to get a decent stable overclock once it's all up and running and finalized. Speaking of which, I'm well behind on that video, my build video on the computer, but it is coming eventually. And for the rest of the Friday, we just wandered around the big exhibition hall, checked out the latest merch, some VR stuff, lots of the big, a couple of retailers there, and some big hardware producers showing off some fancy kitted up computers. Lots of AAA titles being advertised. No wargaming. Which was kind of disappointing. I really expected them to have some kind of presence there, but there was nothing from Wargaming on any of them of their platforms. And there was a huge tabletop card gaming area we got lost in for a while. Didn't play anything, but just wandered around, see what people were playing. God, people get into their cards and their tabletop games. It's crazy. I didn't manage to find a board game for Christmas, the family Christmas, so that plan is still trying to be nutted out. I was looking for a game called Scythe, which is kind of like a alternate history, steampunk, resource gathering, industry building strategy game. But every vendor there was sold out, which I guess is a good sign, but yeah, it hasn't helped me for my Christmas gift idea. I did pick up a little casual word association game called Codenames. Brought it back to Perth and I played it with my friends. It's pretty cool. And we checked out, I wasn't really impressed with many of the big games there. I mean, Battlefield is just it's just like any other first-person shooter. It's amazing to watch, it's amazing to look at, but it doesn't really excite me too much. Same with Overwatch. My brother plays that a lot, but it doesn't really do much for me. There was a couple of indie developers there, local indie game developers that were showing off some pretty cool stuff. There was one called Element, which is kind of reminiscent of Besieged, and that's got a nice clean graphical style. It's like a rotating world attack defense arcadey game by some Kiwi developers. Shout out to Greg, who's one of their coders. He gave me a Steam key for free, so thank you very much for that, mate. To be honest, I haven't played it much at all. I've had too many other things to do, but it does look pretty cool. And there was another one there called Armello. It's kind of a bigger title. It's like a top-down RPG strategy fantasy kind of thing. My brother's playing it at the moment. It looks really cool. I think that's by a Melbourne developer, actually, an Australian developer. So that was PAX. It was good, but again, we could have packed it all into one day. If you're pricing it up for next year, I'd recommend going on the weekday when it's nice and quiet and being well rested. You could probably squeeze all the action you need in just the one day, unless of course there's like discussion panels that you desperately want to see on the other days. And that was PAX. And what have I been doing since then? Well, not a great deal. Work mainly, and the new computer is taking up a lot of my time. It's all pretty much finished off. It's all built, and I've got it looking the way I want it, but I haven't quite dialed in the overclock yet. I'm still waiting for the build video to be all finished and everything squared away before I finalise that. I had actually managed to obtain a pretty decent stable overclock. The CPU ships at 4 gigahertz, but I got it up to 4.7. But it was a pretty cool day, and then the next night it was like 30 degrees at 11 at night, and I was getting some pretty crazy high temps, so I backed it right off. But it is a functional machine, and it is playing some very nice games. It's also quite a big distraction from video production, which is the main reason why I lashed out and built the bloody thing. But I'm sure I'll get bored of games eventually, and I'll get back into a steady cadence of YouTube videos, right? Maybe. So what I've been playing, well, I bought the new Civ 6. It's a very nice looking game, and it's got some new features, but it still just feels like your typical Civ game. Very addictive. You always want to have one more turn. I reinstalled World of Tanks. Why? Why did I do that? I don't know. I played it heavily for a couple of days before I decided that I hated the gameplay. It looks amazing. Thinking back to when I first played that in like 2011 to what it looks now, it's light years apart. It is such a good looking game now. And the sound effects are so immersive. Just the dings and the zips and explosions, and it's just amazing to watch. It's just so unfortunate that the gameplay is so campy and lame. I don't think I can get back into it. Whilst Blitz looks far worse, as you'd expect from a mobile platform, or a platform that was made for mobile originally anyway. I mean, of course it doesn't look as good, but the gameplay, I'm certain the gameplay is better on Blitz. It's just, you get in, you get out. The rapid games, it's not campy at all. There's no artillery sitting at the back clicking in a top-down view, just ruining your good time. And you can have such a bigger impact in a 7 versus 7 game than you can in a 15 versus 15. I don't know how I ever managed to achieve a plus 60% win rate in that game, because in the few games I've played since reinstalling it, I've sucked terribly, having little to no impact in the outcome. But it does look good, and the possibilities for interesting cinematics through a proper replay system, and just the glorious new visuals in that game is really good. So I will definitely be playing around with it, as I have been in Blitz. I mean, I did say I was quitting, or at least I was backing it right off, and I did for a while, but I was slowly edged back into it, playing mainly the alt account. But slowly getting back into the 48-ton account as well. Even I'm back playing around with some mods, customizing things to make them look the way I like them. I've got a new reticule mod that is pretty cool. So still playing around with Blitz. It's hard to leave these things behind. So let's discuss what has occurred recently in Blitz itself. What's been included and what my thoughts are on it. So first things first, I'm not going to dwell on this too much. I know they have to make their money somehow, but god damn, there are some premium vehicles in game at the moment. They are flogging the premiums so hard. There was the Berlin series, the IS-2 Berlin, the ISU 122S, the Rudy and the Cromwell. Always new bundles being flogged off, new IS variants, new T54 variants. God, there are some T54s and some ISs in game. It is ridiculous. They have to make their money somehow, but you know, it is world of premiums. It definitely is. What are we up to now? We're up to update 3.4, and it brought in dynamic display of vehicle characteristics. Not a bad feature to be included. Doesn't go quite as far as the World of Tanks PC info you can bring up, and you can bring up comparison tables for tanks. Really dial in where machines differ or what the improvements or additions do. But it's a nice feature to finally get in Blitz. I'm really on board with that one. There's a new storage area in the garage where you can, through the missions, your daily missions, you can get special bonuses to unlock premium time and maybe gold. I haven't looked into it too much, but that's pretty cool. It's nice to see them bundling new things in with the mission system, which I am more on board with now that I've played an alt account that was a standard account, and I do see the value in those missions now. Before, on the 48-ton account with my millions and millions of credits, it really didn't mean anything to me, those missions, but I could see for standard players that those missions are good, and it's nice that the focus would be even more on those with this new storage system they've got. That doesn't mean that one day they shouldn't still try and do PC style missions where you run through 20 or 30 ever increasingly difficult missions to get a reward tank at the end with no time limit. I still want to see that, but the missions are looking good. Speaking of premium accounts and standard accounts, I am no longer paying Wargaming any more money if I can help it. The Ruckus account will forever be standard. I think I've got enough credits now to last me through several new tech trees, even if I'm not making all that much money, and plenty of premium vehicles that should be able to boost up the credits if need be. I don't think I'm going to be paying Wargaming any more money. So what else is new? Clan supply level 9. I guess that's handy for all you clan lads out there, lads and ladies. A new canyon map, which is pretty cool. A desert snow situation with fairly torturous terrain. Lots of obstacles, lots of elevation changes. I haven't seen anyone complain yet that this map is too flat, but I'm sure there are people out there who think that. There is in every update. And there's of course the much anticipated American auto-loader branch. It was always going to be interesting to see how they're going to implement this one. Try and balance these auto-loaders in with their big burst fire play style. It was always going to be difficult for them to implement these in a way that wouldn't see them dominating every game. And whilst I haven't played much high tier stuff, I haven't seen any T57 heavies. I've only seen the tier 9, which I'm actually up to in World of Tanks PC. It's a bit of a beast of a machine, the T54E1, I think that is. I think by the looks of it, they've done a pretty good job in balancing them. I know the T57 has lost a shell, and it's probably the same for the others down the line. I haven't looked too close into it, but things seem fairly balanced at the moment, and I'll definitely be climbing my way up that tree. I think I'm at tier 4 now. The the Stuart, M5 Stuart. The highlight for me on that line over on PC was the T71. I really love that little light tank over there. Very manoeuvrable little beast. It's probably not as powerful as it once was with all the new high tier lights that have come in since then, but I really did love it back in the day, and I'm looking forward to getting it on Blitz as well. Another new addition, perhaps not as important to some people as it is to me, is the inclusion of some new graphical settings, improved anti-aliasing, and a few other things that mean my replays look a lot sharper. I hadn't even noticed these things were included until Sockrobber, who runs blitz.asia.com, filled me in on the details. So thank you, mate, for that. Shout out to you. And a shout out as well to PixelRageGames, who is doing some pretty unique and interesting tank reviews over on his channel. He sent me a video he did on the Leopard prototype, tier 9 German medium tank. Yes, medium tank. Big and light tanks. Yeah, he sent me his little review he did, and some interesting stuff in there. So if you want to check out more tank reviews spoken in Australian accents, I will link his video in from here. And that's about it for new Blitz content, I think. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but no doubt it'll only come to me after I finish this recording. I'm still trying to maintain a fairly slow once per fortnight video cadence. I think it's something I can maintain in the short to long term, even though I did miss last weekend's. This video was supposed to come out days earlier, but I've been slack. Too much distraction in my life at the moment. But yeah, this low cadence gives me a lot of extra time to play other games and get back into modding Blitz files, and even plan. I'm in the early stages of planning another Supremacy tournament, Supremacy 3. You might remember Supremacy, my own Supremacy, was kind of a community-driven clan war style event. So I've got a new concept on the way. It's map-based, capture point-based, and I might organise very soon a little practice run to see if my concept works. So if you guys got clans out there on the Asia server, if you've got a clan that would like to take part, just let me know and I'll add you guys to a potential list. Obviously not everyone will be able to be involved, but it'd be nice to get plenty of guys in for another crack at this. And I think that is where I will leave you for this one, guys. We're running up to over 20 minutes now, so I can only ramble for so long before I get bored of my own voice. So thank you once again for watching, and I hope you're having fun out there, whatever you're doing, whatever you're playing, and I will see you soon on the next one. Peace.